Bigamy. It sounds like a heavy word, and in the eyes of the law, it is. But when you really think about it, is it always about crime, or sometimes just about choices made in silence in the messiness of life, relationships, and society? Legally, it's very clear. Bigamy is when someone already married marries again without legally ending the first marriage. Under Section 494 of the Indian Penal Code, this second marriage is considered void. It's punishable by up to 7 years in prison and a fine. And if the person hides their first marriage while marrying again, it falls under Section 495, a serious form of cheating, with punishment extending up to 10 years. These laws exist for a reason: to protect the rights of the first spouse, to uphold the sanctity of marriage, and to prevent emotional and legal chaos. Because when someone discovers that their spouse is already married to someone else, it isn't just betrayal. It can feel like their entire reality was built on a lie. But even as we talk about law, it's important to pause and ask, what drives someone to commit bigamy? It isn't always calculated criminality. Sometimes it's cultural pressure, sometimes it's emotional cowardice, and sometimes it's just the belief that will all work out. But the truth is, it often doesn't. Take the Sarla Mudgal versus Union of India case, a landmark judgment, but also a case that revealed how complicated this really is. Sarla was one of the 4 women who had filed petitions, all of whom had discovered that their husbands had converted to Islam to marry another woman without divorcing them. In one case, Meena Mathur was married with 3 children. She found out that her husband, Jitendra, had converted to Islam and married another woman, Sunita, now going by Fatima. He admitted openly that he had converted only to get married again, not out of religious belief but as a legal shortcut. What followed was painful, not just for Meena but even for the second wife, Fatima. She had a child with Jitendra, only to find herself abandoned later because Jitendra went back to maintaining his first family under pressure. Another woman, Geeta Rani, faced the same situation. Her husband married another woman after converting. Sushmita Ghosh, another petitioner, was told by her husband that he wanted a divorce because he wanted to marry someone else. And when she refused, he converted religions to go ahead with it. The Supreme Court took a strong stance. They said a man cannot change his religion just to bypass the law. If he does so without divorcing his first wife, the second marriage is illegal, and he is liable under sections 494 and 495 of the IPC. But even in this powerful verdict, this court wasn't just handing out punishment. It was asking deeper questions about the need for a uniform civil code, about how religious and personal laws are often used to avoid responsibility, and most importantly, about how the absence of legal clarity leaves women vulnerable. Later, in the Lily Thomas versus Union of India case, the court reaffirmed that conversion doesn't erase prior obligations. Just because you change your religion doesn't mean you can walk away from your marriage, from your partner, from your responsibilities and your shared life. So yes, bigamy is a legal offense, but it also exists in a grey zone where love, control, guilt and loneliness all clash. Sometimes it's about patriarchy, sometimes about emotional impulsiveness, and sometimes just plain fear of confrontation. But as a society, we also need to ask, why do so many people think this is the only option? Why is divorce still so taboo in many Indian households? Why do people think they can't walk away from one commitment before stepping into another? The updated Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita under Section 82 keeps the same structure. Up to 7 years for bigamy, 10 if there's any concealment. But laws can only go so far. At some point, it's a mindset that needs changing. Because marriage, whether it ends, continues or evolves, deserves honesty. And so do the people in it. Concluding, for more legal dramas, stay informed and stay empowered. Thank you.